A trial cruise set sail from Miami on Sunday night, marking an important milestone in the resumption of operations out of U.S. ports. Cruise stocks have been setting sail as well. They're all up double digits for the year right now. Joining us to talk more about the sector's resurgence is Patrick Scholes. He is the managing director of lodging and leisure equity research at Truist. And Patrick, this has been interesting to watch. The cruises aren't back in full form yet, but the stocks certainly are. You think that the rise in the stock prices is justified at this point?
I've thought for a number of months now that they've gotten a little bit ahead of themselves. When we look at some of the very bullish expectations out there for next year and especially for 2023, specifically 2023, where some are forecasting EBITDA to be 30, even 40% ahead of 2019 levels. It seems pretty aggressive to me at the moment here.
Part of that, I think, is also because of the additional debt and equity that the companies have either issued or taken on. How will that impede them, just even if they do get back to full strength?
Well, that's going to be below the EBITDA, not to get too much in the weeds here, but below the EBITDA line on the PE or the EPS. And certainly these companies have taken on billions and billions of debt, issued billions of equity, and that's certainly hurting your earnings. And certainly as we look across the PE ratios for 2023, many of these names are trading at mid to high teens, if not 20 times 2023 PE, and that's versus sort of pre-COVID closer to 10 to 12 times. I mean, that looks pretty expensive in my book.
We've been kind of focused on the CDC guidelines, which have been strict, and then on what's happened from the governor in Florida, who doesn't want any of those requirements for vaccinations coming out. And I've been trying to kind of look through the noise on this. Somebody sent me a note yesterday and said that when it comes to the Caribbean, a lot of those islands, if you're not vaccinated, you can't disembark. You can't get off the cruise to go onto their island if you don't have proof of vaccination, which made me wonder if the entire argument here is moot. If you can't get off the boat, who's getting on it?
Oh, I mean, it's very noisy right now. I mean, I analyze this 24/7, and it's hard for me to keep up. I can't even imagine a travel agent or a customer. Yeah, I mean, the cruise lines are having, it's a very difficult time, even, let alone just COVID, trying to deal with the governor in Florida who basically says, you as a business cannot ask if someone is vaccinated, and then you may have these islands in the Caribbean say, well, you have to be vaccinated. Do you want to be that customer who thought one thing and then you get on your vacation or not even allowed to get on your vacation? I don't think that makes a lot of confidence in the customer's mind right now to take a cruise vacation. The good news is, I think I heard you talking before the break that there's a tremendous amount of demand. And there's a pretty limited capacity of ships that are sailing. So I'm not worried about them filling it up to start with. But, what happens as, more ships start to come online, if these issues aren't resolved, it can be a pretty messy situation.
Having said all this, I have heard that there is more strength in the luxury market than in the mass market right now. And if that's the case, is there a stock you like better than the others?
Yes, with some caveats. Norwegian Cruises has roughly about a third of their business comes from high-end luxury cruises. And we do a tremendous amount of forward data checks, survey work, research, essentially. And we clearly see the greatest strength in booking demand in luxury. So that it bodes very well for Norwegian. I will have to say, with a caveat, though, this is where it gets really hard and tricky, that Norwegian has been the most adamant about requiring vaccinations. So place your bets here, because even though they have the greatest strength in bookings, the governor could potentially stop their cruises out of Florida, even though they have many cruisers who want to do it. So it's very day by day, minute by minute with the situation.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.